A while back, I had a dream. It was to walk the Jane River track, an old, overgrown 26-kilometre track that led down to an area that was the scene of a gold rush in the 1930s. It was going to take planning, focus, and willpower, because I had never once done an overnight hike. I printed off the map. It sat on my fridge for 18 months. I invited friends, but nobody wanted to come. I felt like maybe it would never happen. Maybe it's better to be safe like everybody else. After all, a ship in the harbour is safe. But that's not what ships are for. So in April 2019, I took my shot.
This is it.
Wearing jeans, I left with a bag of rice, some cheap gear, and a pocket full of ambition. I walked for hours. I was stressed, scared, but damn, I was doing it. And after 10 hours of walking, I made it to an abandoned mining hut. I spent the next day exploring the area, discovering ruins of the miners who were in the area almost 100 years ago. And I'm glad to say, I made it home safe. This was my first ever YouTube video, and the start of this channel. There was something so rewarding about accomplishing that dream, something that has stuck with me ever since. In the quiet of the forest, I found myself feeling like I had never done before. The experience, the risk, the reward, the challenge, the peace. It was, and still is, so intoxicating. Documenting my experiences has changed my life. Growing up, like many others, I'd work a job through the week and drink on the weekends. Cigarettes and recreational drugs were also thrown in the mix. It was the rush to blow off steam, a happy reward for working, and after the weekend, you'd be back to the grind. For many people, this is fine, but I was never a responsible drinker. The more time I spent outdoors, the more I realized that this toxic substitute for happiness was not real. I had found it elsewhere, and it was the real thing. I had to break the chains. I had several stints at abstinence, sometimes lasting months, but I always fell back into bad habits under the guise of reward. Then something happened. I met Erin, and instantly knew that this was the start of something big,
something strong, and something forever.
She not only motivated me, but consistently encouraged,
believed in, and supported me.
And since marrying her, my life has only become more and more enriched every day. And I'm glad to say I have not felt the desire to drink for over 3 years now. With her help, we built up my side job of wedding videography, which has allowed us to leave our normal jobs and become completely self-employed. This has allowed us a freedom I could have never imagined before. Working together, we travel all around the state, documenting and creating videos encapsulating the most important day for our amazing clients. And it's one of the most fun and rewarding jobs I could ever ask for. And all the while, I've been able to keep my main passion going, which is creating content right here on YouTube. It's here I've documented my travels, my highs, my lows, and every battle in between. But we're still here going stronger than ever. And I'm amazed to say, almost at 100,000 subscribers. And just when we thought life couldn't get any better, this happened. On the 25th of July 2023, we welcomed our son into the world, Scout Franklin Parsons. My whole world shifted. This person, my son, was now with us forever, and it was our responsibility to raise him. This is a huge responsibility, especially in this day and age where children are brainwashed with garbage and stripped of their childhood. We never wanted to be so busy that we resort to shoving an iPad in our kids' faces just to find time. Luckily, I have an amazing wife who shares the same vision as me. Together, we both agreed that a simple life is the answer. As part of my study of old Tasmania, I've spent a lot of time engulfed in simpler times. I love the history of small towns, many of which don't exist anymore, in which its occupants had less but lived more. Growing your own food, maintaining land, keeping livestock, teaching your children vital life skills, and being self-reliant. That's the ideal kind of world we want our family to be raised in. Last year, in the south of the state, we celebrated the 200-year anniversary of my great-great-great-grandfather, Charles Octavius Parsons, first arriving in Tasmania. Charles, aged 24, arrived alone on the 17th of January 1823, with a letter of introduction from the Duke of York and others in England, and enough capital for his dreams of a land grant in the new colony. Instead, he was persuaded by government officers to take an immediate paid position as a storekeeper on the penal settlement of Sarah Island, where he worked for many years amongst the island's worst reoffending convicts. Being a part of this momentous occasion and seeing the farms and homesteads in which my ancestors lived really instilled in Erin and I the importance of our heritage and left us with a clear vision on how we want to live our lives. The memories created and shared of family events, farm life, the struggles and the successes, all garnered by these homesteads and their beautiful titles. So before Scout was born, Erin and I sat down and discussed what the dream was. Having our own private homestead, nestled in nature, which we owned outright, where we can wake up in the morning to birds chirping, fresh flowers on the table picked straight from the garden, eggs the chooks have just laid for breakfast, and a happy, healthy family. What a dream. The reality is we owe several hundreds of thousands of dollars to the bank, who have just doubled our home loan repayments in less than a year. And from the $581 we pay each week, only $87 comes off the primary. At this rate, it would take 4,034 weeks to pay off the mortgage, or 77 years. So here's the plan. We take our home and we destroy it. We tear down the walls and we throw everything we've got into making this the best possible house we can, and sell it. We need a big sale, ideally $1 million. Then we can pay off our mortgage, and whatever money we have left over, we buy something outright. Whatever happens, both Erin and I agreed we'd rather have a caravan on a bush block that we owned outright than be paying the banks for the rest of our lives. The time limit was set. We'd need to have this done before Scout arrived, which gave us 7 months. We started by sanding back the windows. They'd then need priming and painting. All walls would need the holes and dents filled. Where there were no doors on cupboards, we would need to make them. For the dark wood, stain blocking primer would become our best friend. Then, time to rip the carpet up, along with the edging, and of course the staples from the underlay. Cutting into the walls and a top coat. Well, that's 1 room done, 7 to go. Many small but impactful changes were going to be needed if we were shooting for top range. This plaster wall had to go, and I continued on the balustrade to open up the area. Underneath this, the carpet needed to come off the wall, and we'd hire a plasterer to cover over the brickwork. I took to spray painting all of the internal bricks. Afterwards, in the kitchen, I started busting up the tiles, which I was horrified to find underneath another set of smaller tiles. Messy, but progress was happening. Any gaps and cracks were filled up before painting. Out the back, Erin was busy restoring furniture. We'd need this and many more to stage the home for selling. The builders got in and started demolishing the bathroom. First plaster, then waterproofing, then tiling. We had a brand new Hampton-style kitchen installed with tapware from Italy and a handmade butler's sink imported straight from England. Downstairs, with the help of some tradies, we managed to renovate 3 rooms and a bathroom in 2 weeks. Here's the after. We also had new lino laid down for a laundry section and carpeted the rest of the downstairs. With the upstairs bathroom finished and some new flooring being laid down for the final touches, it was time to take some photographs and list our property for offers over $995,000. It sold in 5 days. What transpired next was nothing short of fate. The day after we became unconditional, the perfect homestead was reduced and subsequently fell into our search range, and we instantly knew this was the one. We wasted no time on an inspection, and then... What's just happened?
So the real estate agent just left. We made an offer.
On the dream home?
On the dream home. Now we've just got to wait.
And after some negotiating, we secured our dream home. It was time to pack up and get ready for the move. After much discussion, we've decided we'd like to document our journey here, and for that, we'll be starting a separate channel. It's here we'll be sharing our experience on living in rural Tasmania, the work we do around the property, growing fruit and vegetables, home improvements, and of course, our raising of a family. We invite you to join our channel, which I'll leave a link below, or you can simply search the name in which we've chosen to christen it, Robbinsbrook Homestead.